Right, we are live. Welcome. Stacey Rasky here with another one of our absolutely epic and amazing speakers who is going to be joining me live at our InFLOWential IMPACT leadership event and a workshop February 18th and 19th in Tampa, Florida. Welcome, William Branum.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks for having me on here.
You are welcome. We were just laughing right before we went live, and I love how you have all the product placement. You were sipping on your beverages.
Cup of coffee.
I love it. Is that what that
Energy
is? Is that
drink.
coffee?
It is coffee, but there's no. It's just a cup with a sticker. But yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
But this,
I was
but
like,
this
literally, it looks like an
energy
energy drink. Oh, okay, that's amazing. I like it.
This is, so and that's how I get my gallon of water a day. I just put a little energy drink in there, and it's a half-gallon hydro flask, and I do 2 of those a day.
I love it. That is fantastic. I need to order one of those, so I'm gonna I was looking, so I'm just gonna find out what you're using and just get that one because that's easy. But enough chit chat. Everyone is here, excited to hear more about you. So if you could share a bit about who you are, what you do, and you, my friend, have one of the coolest backgrounds of almost all of our speakers. I've definitely let everybody know because it is amazing.
I'm kind of a boring guy. I'm still trying to figure out, like, there's probably something exciting about me somewhere. But I spent 26 years in the Navy. 23 of those 26 years, I was in the SEAL teams and got to do some pretty cool stuff. Deployed around the world. I've done everything from, doing, direct action combat missions, sniper overwatch. I've taught sniper school all the way down to protecting the interim government of Iraq while they were going through a transitionary period. They're elected, keeping their elected officials alive because bad guys wanted to destabilize the government. And our job there, it was a no-fail mission, was to make sure that nothing bad happens to those leaders. And, that was not a very sexy job that I was doing, but it was strategically important. And one of the cool things that came out of doing that job was I was in the room when they were writing and signing the Constitution, the new Constitution of Iraq. I was one of only 2 Americans that got to be there and be a part of that little bit of history. So that's a little bit about me.
Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I love it. It is just so cool. I mean, I think for you and I, having the opportunity to be at these, experience firsthand and on the front lines of some of these pivotal moments in history, unlike a lot of other people who get to just kind of watch it on the news. And it's like, no, we were there.
I think you were in Iraq long before I was.
Yeah, I was actually on the front lines when we invaded in 2003. We were the first chemical unit in Iraq, although even though we did chemical and biological warfare detection, our focus was biological warfare. So actually 9/11 happened, which obviously is another one of those pivotal moments in history. And we went to the Pentagon right after because the anthrax showed up. So we were tasked to go and do testing and clean up and all of that right after. So I was in the crash sites during cleanup and all of that.
Crazy.
Yeah. Like, that's my first deployment. Go to the Pentagon. Like, seriously. Like, it's just, but I have pieces. I have charred pieces of the white granite facade of the Pentagon, right? Like, it's kind of cool. Actually, right behind me on my bookshelf back there. So, but I would love for you to share a little juicy teaser on some of the genius you are going to be sharing at our amazing event.
So I'll be one of the speakers at the event. And what I'm going to talk about is kind of what you see right here on my shirt. And it's about getting naked. And it's probably not exactly what you think, but it's really about how to live your life. And it's a mindset to live your life by. And maybe you can't do all of the things that I'm going to ask you to do, but I'm going to ask you to, pick one place in your life to apply this get naked mindset and and I'll challenge you at the event to show me a place in your life where this doesn't help.
Mm.
And if you can do that, I'll refund your money.
Ooh, boom. Look at that. We have our refund policy has just been thrown. The gauntlet is down and challenge accepted. I love, love, love that. Well, and I love that this truly is this opportunity to strip down. Right. I mean, that is that's what I love about talking to you in how you approach taking off the masks and really releasing a lot of the bullshit that we hide behind consciously and subconsciously to really become share that naked, unbridled, real, raw, true self.
Right.
And be able to get honest with ourselves and where do we need to make those pivots and how we invest and how we need to show up differently and assess who we're being and who we desire to be in our lives and our leadership and our legacy.
Yeah. I mean, so we find that ego, and oftentimes we're not brave enough to admit that our ego is really getting in the way. And when we learn to take that ego off and kind of set it in the corner, we're able to really change the way that we think. We're able to be a little bit vulnerable. We're able to actually fix our wagon that maybe we're not brave enough to think that it even needs to be fixed. There's nothing wrong with me, or I'm a high performer. I'm in a high performance environment. I don't need to do that. I shouldn't do that because no one needs to see weakness. And what you're going to find out very quickly is once you do start to show a little bit of vulnerability and you start putting that ego to the side, people are going to respect you more because you were brave enough, and you're going to be a role model for other people that need to see that. And I think that was certainly true for me. You know, I grew up in the SEAL teams. My entire adult life has been part of a high performance organization. And it wasn't until I saw leaders that I looked up to and I respected show a little bit of vulnerability that I was like, how, that's actually kind of cool. That I can't believe that he's doing that, but I actually respect him more for being vulnerable and admitting mistakes, admitting defeat, and accepting those failures, and then sharing those failures with us as lessons learned. And so when you're able to do that as a leader, or just even as a person, you're going to change the lives of the people that are around you.
That is so powerful. Well, there is, right? Like we think about ego, and there's so much to ego that is reflected in our control issues and how we are controlling or curating how we think people perceive us, right? Because again, we have those stories that say, you know, I need to be like this to be a leader, or I need to be like this to appear strong, or whatever it is. And there's almost this process to with removing the ego or removing the mask or getting naked is a bit of the surrender of the bullshit that we're hiding behind. I mean, it's almost
no one really wants to do that, though. It's scary. It's scary out there.
Ooh. Yeah. It's interesting though, because I think for you and I as well, right? Our perspectives are different, having lived through the things that we've lived through, experienced the things that we've experienced. And it's like, you know, it's funny when you see and live through things that really actually are scary, right? Not just what our mind makes it up to be. But on the other side of that, I still find there's no scarier place to be than stuck in here myself, buying into the same shit all the time. And, you know, like we're always saying, like, new level, same devil, right? Like we expand to the next level of leadership, and then, same stupid crap starts creeping up again.
Yeah. I look at fear, that fear, I look at it like it's a vampire, because vampires, they live in this dark place. They live in the darkness. That fear lives in that dark place in your mind, and they suck the life out of you. And that fear, it sucks the life out of you. So once you're able to figure that piece out, and we'll talk about, we won't share the how yet, but we'll talk about the what, which is really exposing that fear. Once you're able to do that, then you will control it, and it won't control you. But a couple of things that, some other things that we may cover, we may talk about while we're at the event. You might learn why in the SEAL teams, I take bullets away from leaders. I don't let leaders shoot bullets when they're making decisions on the battlefield. You might even learn a little bit about some transitions, like ways to handle transitions or prepare for transitions. So those are a couple things that I have potentially that we may talk about at this event. So
I love it.
You may learn how to multitask like a Navy SEAL. Also, there's all sorts of things that we could potentially talk about.
Ooh, I think it's just going to be what the room needs. But I love that.
We've got options. We've got options.
Exactly. I mean, we have 2 full days to meet the needs of everyone in attendance. And that's one of those pieces is we'll be sending out that survey in advance of everyone coming in and being like, hey, where do you need to focus? Because everyone's going to cater and curate, and we're going to adjust this experience to exactly what the audience needs. And I love that we can have some practical, we can have some tactical, we can have some emotional, and we can have some real leadership application implementation strategies.
100%. It's going to be very cool.
It is going to be amazing. Well, and that's a perfect segue to, you've had the opportunity to meet the team, even though you weren't able to make it to the last event. So I would love for you to share what is going to make this experience different from other events and workshops that you've attended.
I think one of the cool things about this group of coaches that you've assembled is everyone, it's a very broad set of experiences. Most events that I've been to, you just have like super alpha so-and-so on stage, and they're just like, do this and that and all that, and energy. But this is like, you've got, different kinds of mindset. What fits an individual? One size doesn't fit all. Like what I bring to the table may or may not be what appealing to what one of the other coaches brings to the table. And so you have the ability to be hard or soft or somewhere in the middle, and you can sort of move between, experiences depending on what you need or what's the word I'm trying to say here? Really what fits your bucket, what appeals most to you. So I might be a little too high energy, but I know we have some other coaches who are a little more toned down, or maybe I'm not, high energy enough, and we've got other coaches that may be higher energy than me. So with just different experiences, and really the goal of this is to get experiences from as many people as you possibly can. And we have a very diverse group of coaches that are going to be at this event. So I'm actually looking forward to getting some coaching from some of these people as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is
because I have holes in my life that I need to fill, and I know just the people that are going to help me fill those holes.
Absolutely perfect. I love it. Thank you so much. I know, and you hit the nail on the head, right? Like we have such a diverse group. I mean, when I tell people that we have, energy worker, body worker, all the way to former Navy SEAL, and we're covering all points in between business, leadership, mindset, team communication, and self-care, to, all of the things, stepping into our purpose and all of the layers and nuances, and weaving all of these pieces together to truly step into who we're called to be and create this highest level of impact that we plan on making in 2022, right? We've got to be that version of ourselves, and we get to bring all of these pieces together at the same time. That's what's so different about our ecosystem. We're addressing mind, body, soul, business, leadership, relationships, all at the same time. And we're going to talk about all of it. We're going to do some things to create change in all of those areas of your life leadership. so that you can create the legacy of impact you're called to make this year. So what would you say that you haven't said yet to anybody who is on the fence, you know, that you're like, man, you've got to get there? Why do they need to make sure they get their ticket?
I would say don't live your life with regrets, because this is an incredible opportunity to be in a room with some amazing people. It's a small investment that if you don't do it, think about what you're missing out on. I'm super excited to go. And I would just say, just don't live your life with regrets. If you choose not to do this event, then please go to a future event, because the impact that will be made on your life, you might as well start at the beginning of the year. I'm not much of a New Year's resolution kind of guy. When I think of something that I'm going to do, I just do it. I don't wait for, January 1st or whatever. I'm like, many of the things that I've decided to do and execute on happen, somewhere in the beginning, middle, or towards the end of the year. I don't wait till, a certain date. I'm like, once I decide to execute on it, I execute it on. And so sometimes I don't have the tools to do it. So I go out and I find coaches to help me figure out the best way to do it. I have many coaches. And I've spent lots of money on coaches, and I wouldn't be where I am today if I didn't have a coach. And I'll just share a little, and I didn't realize this when I was in the SEAL teams, when I got out, how important that coaching piece was. Because in the SEAL teams, if we didn't know how to do something, we would go and hire a coach, and they would teach us and give us a different perspective on how to do it. And then we would take those lessons, those techniques, and then we would apply it to whatever worked best for us. So, for example, when we needed to learn how to climb buildings in Baghdad, Iraq, we went out and found some of the world's best climbers that were in the United States. We hired them to teach us how to solve this problem. And oftentimes that's what a coach is doing. They're there to give you tools to help you solve the problems. Maybe they're there to help sharpen some of those tools. So this is going to be a fantastic event where you're going to have access to so many different kinds of coaches that you'll be able to kind of a la carte figure out which is the best coach for you, who's going to speak most best to you, and then you'll get to work with those coaches when you sign up for the program. So and then they will just help advance you from where you are today into being able to climb buildings at night with body armor, guns, night vision, without anyone ever knowing you were even there. So
ninja skills.
Some super ninja skills with a lot of equipment on. Yeah.
I love it. That is fantastic. Absolutely. I mean, and that's exactly it, right? That's the shortcut to massive success, is really being able to invest in learning someone else's wisdom because they've already made the mistakes. So you don't have to, right? And to cover all of the bases and alleviate any of the mistakes that we could potentially make in this next level, next level leader we're called to be, and make sure we're covering the mindset, we're covering the self-care, we're covering the relationships, we're covering the business systems and strategies, we're covering the team dynamics and communication, we're covering all of these different things while peppering in getting the support from all of the amazing experts. We have the breakout sessions. And then for those who are doing the elite VIP, they get to have private dinner with you and all of the speakers and get that one-on-one time from someone to be like, oh, okay, hey, let's solve your problem right now. Let's just take care of it, right? And I know you are bringing some amazing products from your Naked Warrior Recovery and bringing those for the elite VIP swag bag. Are you bringing anything else as well?
I'll bring a handful of other products to give some, maybe to give away, some to sell for people to try out. And if you want to buy some products, awesome. If my products aren't your thing, that's awesome too. Exactly. I will at least be able to answer questions. If you have questions about it, maybe CBD isn't your thing. Maybe you're a child like me of Nancy Reagan's war on drugs. Just say no. I was terrified to try it, but it helped positively impact my life. So, so we'll have some. I'll give some away. I'll sell some. I've got all sorts of stuff. So we'll see you there.
Yeah, it'll be an amazing, amazing time. So again, if you have not yet gotten your tickets be sure to go to vipstacy.com/impact to reserve your seat today, because doors will be closing soon. We do have limited seats available because we want to keep this as intimate and high touch and high impact transformation experience as possible. So we set the limit to the room at only 100 people for that reason. So everyone will have some of that one-on-one time, some of that small group time with all of the amazing experts and speakers in the room. So definitely head on over vipstacy.com/impact, and we will see you there in February.
Awesome.